Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Elias and welcome back to Stoneblock 3. In the last episode, we were working on power. We have a lapidary dynamo, and then down below we have a heat generator, something from mechanism, that is producing pretty much all of the power we need right now. Because we don't need that much. We need enough to power our electric motor, which is very slowly powering this conveyor belt. We'll speed that up later. And our refined storage system. I almost said applied energistics. We do not have applied energistics. We could, but I went with refined storage because it's easier. Yeah, we have power. We have storage. I need to obviously work on the storage a little bit more, but we need to start getting resources. And this is something that I've been kind of putting off automating a little bit because I'm not too familiar with Create. So I did some research and I found out some things. So first of all, these things are annoying to work with a little bit. So the auto hammer will always extract the cobblestone out of this thing. So I'm going to have to come up with a system to extract better stuff because we're going to want to be processing cobblestone into gravel pretty quickly because we're going to set up a system, and I've dug out a room over here. This room, I made it a little bit bigger, and I'm hoping we can get most of it on just one side. And what we need to do is this. We are going to be turning cobblestone into gravel. We're going to make a handful more of these auto hammers, the diamond tier, and we're going to make the gravel into dirt, then sand, then dust. And then some of the gravel will go to the crushing wheels. Some of the gravel will get washed. The sand, some of that will get washed. Some of it will get haunted to turn into soul sand. We will then wash both the dust and the soul sand. So we have basically a bunch of things that we either need to wash, haunt, or crush, or process into other things. And so we need to be able to split things off. Luckily, I found out about an amazing item in Create. So we're going to make that right away. And then I've been really putting off like setting this up because I don't know how I want things to be. So I'm going to be making a handful more auto hammers. And I need to figure out a good way to turn cobblestone into compressed cobblestone, which we can do, but then get that into the auto hammer. And I think what we might actually do, can we just do this? We can't do that. Can we just, I want to steal a brass funnel. Can we? No. Brass funnels cost what? Of course it costs an electron tube. These things are the most annoying thing to make ever. Eventually we'll be able to do the deployer thing, and we'll have an automated system for that, but it's still really annoying. So what we're going to end up doing, let's just break that for right now. Let's steal this for a second, because this funnel has no nothing. So if we put this here, and then put compressed cobblestone there, and then let's just steal this for a second. If we put a depot in front of it, it needs to extract. Yeah, it will, and that can actually pull that from there. Interesting. Okay, so that is what we want to do. We're going to use a funnel to put that onto a belt or something. Actually, the depot might work just fine because depots are relatively cheap. Yeah, those are really cheap. So I think that's what we're going to do. So what we need to make before anything else, and I am willing to use item pipes. The problem with item pipes, though, is that we can't filter. In order to filter with the pipes mod, you need to get to advanced pipe upgrades, which is a lot of redstone, diamonds, gold, and iron. All things that we don't have quite a bit of quite yet because, well, we need to get more stuff. So we are going to fill this guy up I think it can hold 512. And we're basically going to... Hi, Loopy. You didn't even spawn someplace that was, like, surrounded in blocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the item that we need for the conveyor belt. And we're going to need a lot of these, probably. But what it is murdering a slime. We need to make a tunnel. So brass tunnels is the key. Brass tunnels are really powerful, it seems, at item distribution. So that's what we're going to use. I also, we have a clay loot crate. I also had a rare and a common. So we have a bunch of things. That's just clay. 4 clay. Copper upgrade, that is for functional storage. That is good. Leggings. And a music disc. Alright, most of the stuff I don't really care about. We are just going to dump things off for right now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make our rose quartz. And then I've got to figure out where my sandpaper is. Should be over here. Did the bee drop anything for us? Yes, it did. Aluminum, cool. So we need to process this into a electron tube, and then we're going to need a piece of iron, and then we're going to make a brass tunnel. So we get 2 brass tunnels for 1 electron tube, so it's not too terrible. It's still pretty terrible, but it's not that bad. And you know, one of the things I kind of considered with all of this is, do we want to store some of the blocks? So do we want to have a bit of, for example, gravel ready to be kind of used and whatnot? I also was considering, do we want to, let me craft the tunnel. Do we want to have compressed blocks go into another diamond auto hammer? And that is something that we can potentially do later. Once we get a little bit better stuff, we could always upgrade this system. That is something to keep in mind. So the brass tunnel, I'm just going to show with this. You can have filters on this. And we need to pick it up. Let's show off a little bit. So if we have a belt, and then we have another belt like so, if we have a brass tunnel here, it will split what we want. And if we want it to only split certain things, so depending on which way the belt is moving, obviously is going to matter. So if the belt is moving this way, we can have, you know, only things can go through this, or only things can go through this. But more importantly, up here, we can have distribution methods. And so we can split, we can force split, round robin, forced round robin. So basically, if it says forced, what that means is that it will always do it even if the belt is full. We can have randomized, so just random. The round robin will send the first set of items that way, and then the next set of items that way. Or what we're going to use is split, where it will send half of the items that way and half of the items that way. And it will do it as like precisely as it can. So this is going to be the main block of everything. What we're going to have is we can have our auto hammers output items to a, let's just get rid of all this gravel, and you know what, I'm going to process it because why not. We can have all of the items from the auto hammer be popped out with a funnel onto our conveyor belt, and then half of the gravel will go one way, half of the gravel will go the other, and we can do that for basically all of the stuff. And we can even have a third output. There we can put two of these funnels next to each other on a belt, obviously. So I'd have to do something like this. And, you know, the easier way to do this would be to just ponder it, but this will take multiple inputs even, but it will also distribute things properly. So just to kind of show off, we'll get this set up. I'm going to do most of this off camera, but tunnels are just fantastic. They have filter slots. They have, you know, they can split where items go through. They can stop items from coming into it. But the big thing we want to do is we want to split the gravel coming in to different places. And we can even use one of these, and then we could use one of the filters that we have over here. So these guys have filters, which I think, let's take a look at this. So the list filter, that we don't actually need. We can just use a standard filter for sand. Oh wait, no, we need to have a blacklist. So we could put a soul sand filter on this, for example. So we can just do that, and now only soul sand will pop out of there. And so we can use these list filters, and if we wanted to, we could have a conveyor belt go to a smelting operation. And so that's what we're going to start setting up. So I'm going to do all of the hard work off camera and get these guys set up so that we can actually start processing gravel and sand and dust and soul sand into all of the goodies to then be stored into our system and have that automatically happen. So I will bring you guys back in once I have a bit of that kind of set up and we're ready to start like testing it and all that kind of fun stuff. I think I have something set up and working. I don't know yet. We'll have to go test it. But, oh man, this is a mess. It's not... Okay, I've tried to make it somewhat make sense. And I have options for expansion. And a lot of the output belts are going to be down here. So there's a lot of belts. And we're going to have to figure out how to get all of them to start rotating. That's something we'll deal with later. Well, in a little bit. So, here it is. This is presumably everything we need. And it's actually a little smaller than I expected. So this little turnaround right here is if we want to include a blasting. So basically, let's go look at our chest over here. We're going to be getting a lot of stuff like raw gold. We're going to get raw copper. We could go ahead and automatically blast that with create and just another encased fan. It's all it takes. So we use the encased fan with some lava in front of it and we get what we need. So there is a little bit of kind of concerns with that, obviously, but we could set up a fan right here and everything would work. So let's go through this system and talk about it. So first things first, we have to do something about getting this stuff into here. And that is something I'm not entirely sure how I want to do quite yet. If we raise that up, we could use the depot. Or will it take stuff from the depot if it's there? Let's find that out real quick. And yeah, everything should work just fine. So let's steal... Actually, how do we make a depot? Depots might be good to have extras of. Okay, I think we have an encased or andesite casing, whatever it's called. Yes, we have an andesite casing. We have some andesite alloy. We can make a depot. So the question is, if we do something like this, and we can put a brass funnel, we'll get compressed cobblestone, and it's not gonna, we're gonna just turn this on and then turn it off. Did it go in there? No, it went back. Right. So it's got to be one more up. Okay, that's something we can actually do. We can just put this up here. Now I believe brass funnels can have redstone control. We can turn them on and off. So that would be useful. And so we can do this. We can put that there. That will feed into above. So it should... It should, anyways, in theory, feed above it. But we can then put this here. Let's grab a piece of cobblestone and a lever. So we navigate the maze. All of this is going to be covered in glass eventually. But we got to get it to work first. And that is kind of the important thing. But let's go ahead and make a lever. So we can turn this thing on and off. Because I don't want to send a bunch of gravel in yet. But we're going to do this. And this will turn the entire system on and off, to be perfectly honest. So let's turn it off for right now. And then if we just do that, yeah, so that works just fine. And it's going to start getting a buffer of, oh, I need to put it on this, but that's fine. So gravel will be produced here and exit here, be evenly distributed this way. Right here is where we're going to have another thing. For right now, we could put a chest and an andesite funnel. So I believe if we break the chest, yeah, it'll stay there. So this will be another hammer. We'll have an item pipe because we don't really care about the dirt. Dirt will then be immediately turned into sand, and then sand will go here, get split off, and go into a third auto hammer, which will make dust. And dust will just go off and go here. Now, half of the sand will then, so half of the sand will go to dust, the other will go here. Half of that will go to this setup, which is going to basically feed into a haunting, and then export and feed right back in with the gravel. So the gravel will, let's start with the gravel. It goes through here. Half of it goes that way, half of it goes here. And then here, half of it goes this way up to the crushing wheels. Half of it goes here to be processed with washing. Soul sand will meet up with the gravel and take care of that. Now we're going to have much more gravel than anything else, so we'll deal with that later. But sand will do something similar, go to haunting, and then to this belt with the dust, where it will go to be washed. And then for the washing output, we have our filter on a smart chute. So the chute will only pull items down, and then we'll have all the outputs going this way, and the crushing wheels will meet up right here. And then if we want to do the blasting thing, we can put another tunnel here, brass tunnel, to split things off and then put things back onto the belt. So that is the idea. Now we need to get all of these belts turning, and that's that's gonna be a challenge. So yeah, we can put a gearbox here. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of, we need to turn a lot of gears. Gearboxes are going to be useful for this. Gearboxes are not terribly expensive. It's a lot of cogwheels, but cogwheels are just shafts and planks, so that's not too terrible. But if we can get this one moving, that would be nice. So I guess we could do something like this. It's not what I want to do. We can do this. So we can put a thing here, and then if we put a gearbox here, that's not going to work. Does it matter how? Okay, so I don't know much about the gearboxes. Let's ponder that for a second. So it changes rotational force. That much is clear. And it's just a compact version of that, but it doesn't look like... So shafts are mirrored. So straight connections are reversed. So that is unfortunate. There might be a better way to do this, and I don't know. And that's not going to work. Okay. I need to really get used to using the wrench for everything. But what we can do is we can put a shaft here, and then I will fill this back in with stone in a second. We can extend a shaft like so, and I have a crafting bench in here. We can just do something like this, and that will connect all these together. And then if we just, for experimentation, I need to hit the right side of that block. So let's speed this up just a little bit. Let's go to like 10. So that is a good kind of movement, and that belt is now working just fine. So what we're going to probably end up doing, maybe eventually, once we get into like flex networks and have wireless power, we could just make more electric motors and make everything whatever speed we want. We don't have to worry about all the gears and water wheels and all that kind of stuff. But what we're going to do for the rest of this stuff, I do believe, is we're going to put in some water wheels. And the only issue with this is just figuring out where to put them so that we can get the most belts running without any issue. So first things first, we need to go get some water. And then we're going to need to kind of decide where things are going to be. So we could put one over here. It would not cause too much issue. We can move this one. So let's, or we could put it, there's not much space. Unless we want to go further back, that could be useful. And something we can always do is we can always do what we did over here, which is just put more belts to make things move. But yeah, all of these belts need to move. That's the challenge. We can, of course, you know, put gearboxes potentially in some of these places, but yeah, we're gonna have to figure all that out. So this is, take this as an update. I will come back once I have a little bit more. Now, the other thing we're gonna need to do is the diamond hammers and the auto hammers, I should say. So how do we want to do this? Can I just put, let's do something just quick and dirty. So we're gonna put something like this. That is rotating the wrong way. And then we can do something like this. I'm still really bad, but that is actually perfect. Other than if we wanted to put a gear shaft here, that's perfect. So everything is stuck now, but this is going the wrong way. So can we just put two gear shafts next to each other? Would that work? So let's get a gear shaft, and there's probably better ways. A gearbox, not a gear shaft. There's probably better ways to do all this. In fact, I'm pretty certain there is. So we're going to need a piece of wood and place this down. Do that. And I'm obviously going to play around with this, but I just want to make sure that some of this works. And having more gearboxes is going to be just fine. But this is a good experiment. If we put this here, that does work. Cool. And then the output for that one's going to work just fine. A gearbox. So let's do this. Just to kind of get an idea of how things are going to look. If we put that is working just fine. And if we put a single gearbox here, that is exactly what we need. All right. And then we could do something. I don't think you can do this. Those won't attach. But you can do this. And that works. So then we just need to have these two attach, which we could do with, like, I'm going to look into better ways of doing logistics, but this would be a way to get things at least started, because we are going to need a lot of resources, and I can always clean things up later. So that actually works exactly how we want it to. And then at some point, I wonder if a gearbox would work with that. So let's, we are going to have to turn our magnet off or something, because I'm going to pick up all of these items. So let's actually do that for right now. Let's take our magnet off and turn it off. So let's steal another. Do I have another gearbox? I do. All right, so this is just a question of, we have to add a shaft here. No, that is the wrong way. All right, so I'm going to figure things out, and this is going to become basically all of our resources coming in. And I think what we are going to do, I am going to go ahead and make another encased fan, and we're going to do a blasting area here. So we're going to need to probably bring this down, or put another water wheel down here. We might use the same water. That might be cool. And just to make things go like a little bit faster, we want to have high speed on that so that we have better range. Now we still need to get this guy to work as well, but yeah, we're going to have automation. It's not going to be pretty. It is not going to be pretty. As I kind of figure out, create more, I'm going to research more, watch a little bit maybe. Then eventually we'll figure things out. But yeah, getting all these belts to move is going to be a pain. But I'll figure something out. So I will come back once I have more stuff done, and maybe once the system is more or less ready to go. Now, one thing I'm going to say before we go, I think I might try to make some auto hammers, and the iron is kind of the only thing that we're really lacking on, but yeah, I'll see what I can do. We do have a bunch of iron ore. It might be good to just go ahead and put this out in the world and break it. I think we can make more iron ore. We can always do that with a combiner, and I don't know that iron ore itself is super useful. It might be, but and obviously I could get more by crushing it. So you know what? That's what we'll do. I will crush all of this. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some auto hammers. I'm going to get things kind of situated. Before we go, I am going to open clay, 4 more, and then we have 3 common, sea pickles and eggs. 12 eggs and 4 sea pickles. Wow. Okay, so I will come back in a moment once we have a little bit more stuff done. I think I have it. So, yeah, big mess. So one thing, using two large cogwheels like this will get things moving for the crushing wheels and the output from washing. So that is perfect. I'm going to clean things up in here later and make everything look relatively nice. For now, we're going to hide a lot of this stuff. I'm going to have glass over all of this belt, and I'll probably go back in and put some glowstone, kind of like we did over here, once we have all that. Obviously, that's kind of a big thing. Now, this is going to be just storage with the crystal chest for now. I'm going to see what all we get and start getting the storage system kind of set up with all of that. I've been having some issues with the refined storage system at times because it like forgets it has anything connected to it. So I don't know what's up with that. I just reset it and it works. But yeah, so we're just going to store everything for now. And this area should work with a gearbox. I'll make another one of that later. And just trying to get all this stuff kind of compact and somewhat nice. So we have gearboxes here. This whole section is working just fine. I'm just going to look at it so you can see. We have some big gears. And then we're actually powering our fan with this guy. So that works just fine. And then over here, I have these guys connected and those two connected with just normal cogwheels and a gearbox. And then I think all I have to do to get everything working. By the way, I got all of the auto hammers made. I went ahead and crushed the iron ore. So if we look real quick, just to show, iron ore, if you crush this in the crushing wheels, you get crushed raw iron, like 5 of them, with a 75% chance of getting a 6th. And now you could smelt that for just a single ingot, or if you wash it, you get an ingot and 75% chance of getting redstone dust. So I have a lot of iron and a lot of redstone now. That was fantastic. But presumably, if we just put 2 of these guys, everything is going the right direction. And everything is being kind of sent off. I need to go get... I don't think I have it on me. I need my flint and steel. We're also going to open the clay, which is going to come in handy because the other thing I'm going to do between episodes... So I'm going to clean things up. Let's see, I think it should be in here. Yeah, flint and steel. So first things first, we're going to kind of clean this area up and make it look a little bit nicer. But hey, look, it's working, and we're even getting resources. We do need to get that haunting. And presumably... that is not working. Up to any. That is not working for some reason. So let's grab... oh, because that's going the wrong direction. Oh. Oh no. Let's break that. And we'll just put... oh man, conveyor belts are awful. 2 shafts like this. No. That was a mistake. Okay, so not everything was right. That is kind of expected. So let's see if we can't figure out. So, we need this to go into the opposite direction. So I guess we could do something like this. No, because it's not going to work. Let's break this. Let's put that here. That is going the wrong way. Let's see. Yeah, it's got to be like... oops. Stop using that. Alright, where is that going to go? we need to grab that before it gets crushed. Alright, so let's set this back up so that it works. Was it that? And then just a normal thing. That is not the right way. So it was this one. And that is the right way. Okay. So I think it burned some of my stuff. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. So what we need to do is we need to have this go like so. And we can just put a shaft here and that should work. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So if we turn this on, we'll get 2 stacks of compressed cobblestone out, and that is going to process half of it this way, and half of that is going to go straight through to be washed. I have the chest here just so we have buffer, and then the other stuff is going straight through to get turned into sand. Sand is getting turned into being washed. This one should go that way. Perfect. And then the dust is going to come around and get washed. And we're going to have all of the wonderful... We have a diamond. This stuff is... It's perfect. Cool. So all I have to do now is kind of clean things up. And then eventually we're going to filter out everything. So I'm going to need another brass filter here. Or brass tunnel. To filter all the ores that will get blasted. We'll put lava here. We'll make it look. We'll make it work with a fan. I'm gonna try to use the same water, but if I can't, it's fine. But then we'll have to get these guys hooked up. Really, the only one that's going to be a concern is getting this direction. So we're going to need quite a few more kelp. Dried kelp, and that is kind of the reason why the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to build a room over here and get a bunch of crops, a bunch of the botany pots together. We're getting a lot of stuff now, so we can do that, and then at that point I don't know what we're going to do. So next time we're going to do something. I don't know what, but I'm going to finish up all the system. I'm going to get things sorted and all that kind of fun stuff. I'll make whatever I need, get the blasting done, and then we'll have this stuff go with a much better system. So I'm going to get all that kind of sorted, and next time, like I said, we're going to do something. Maybe we'll start doing some more quests. I don't know what I want to get into is the only problem, but we'll figure something out. So that's the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!